car number 39 from Berlin, Connecticut, Tavern on the Tracks to bring us Paul Varricchio Jr.
The new car in 2023 was awesome. As far as changes, not really any changes. Ran the car through like a suspension test to see where it was at, see how the car laid down on the corner, laid down on the nose, and we were excited. Not promises, but we made expectations for ourselves.
Oh, Kevin Corda gets turned in turn 2 and around he goes. It'll be a drive-through penalty for Paul Varricchio after the contact.
Never was really put in that position to be able to go for a win, and unfortunately things happened. I touched and that was the end of it. Instead of being very aggressive or trying to make the car do things that it doesn't want to do, now I learned to just calm down and just let things happen.
Here he comes, Paul Varricchio, his first career victory in the late models.
This is great. You have no idea. I've been waiting for this time to happen for a long time, and I did it.
You're still doing the motions. You're still doing what you're doing. It didn't really settle down until I think it was Sunday night. Oh, my confidence level is through the roof. I mean, I can believe I can do anything with that car now.
Varricchio, no matter where he starts, he always finds his way to the front with 5, 6, 7 laps to go. And then we start talking about him.
Just looking for the holes. I mean, you kind of know what cars do what in the corner, so you kind of wait for the situation. If they overdrive it into the corner and they move up a little bit, put you right in, you're able to pass them.
Varricchio 3 wide for that 5th spot, to the inside of Fern, to the inside of Corey.
I have trust in the car. That's the biggest thing, is where I put that car is where it goes. If I turn it right a little bit, it turns right. If I turn it left and I return it again, it does what it's supposed to do. The car's nice and neutral.
1 lap to go.
Nearly contact between the race leaders back into turn number 1. Stark in the outside lane. Varricchio to the bottom.
The move that gives him the advantage, and Paul Varricchio will take down the win.
So that last lap pass, I looked at it from the perspective of the first race when I was behind Kevin. So I try to keep it as clean as possible, so I profited off of his mistake. To have 2 wins in that division since other than my first win in the Paradisco Musca Shootout in 2003? I mean, it's great.
Kevin Corda has an 8-point advantage over Paul Varricchio Jr.
I started looking at points ever since the 50 lapper. We struggled. A lot of it was me because I was point racing, and you go from being 8 behind or 12 behind to 34 behind. It's a roller coaster. So of course that's a roller coaster. You drive like a roller coaster. You're all over the place.
And that is Varricchio's car.
Yeah, there's an electrical problem or something going on with the fuel lines. I don't know exactly what it is, but it has no power.
It all came down to $10 fuel pump push rod. That was no good. So we had no practice, no heat race. I started way in the back and I just worked my way to the front.
Paul Varricchio overcomes a tough night, finishes second in the late model main event.
That means my guys, those guys are very dedicated. Larry Vassar always said, and he said this to me over the phone, he goes, you gotta lose one to win one. You gotta lose a championship to win one. So I said, I understood that. Stronger crew, obviously more sponsors. I was excited. I mean, can't say not. We had a good time. First and foremost, I really got to thank Rob, Valerio, and Eric Kligman. I got to thank my son, Cameron, my father-in-law, Bill Doobie, my wife, Heather, go-kart friend of mine, which his name is Greg, Steven Ortega, there's Armin and Stephen Cody, Gary and Alex Spinatos. There's a ton of guys that are involved in this. You got Marvin Minkler, you got Butchie Fosdick and Lillian Fosdick and Tavern on the Tracks. Craig's been with me for a long time. He's got this establishment. It's called OC Tavern, that's where we are tonight. Fireman Al's Hot Dogs, Cobos Landscaping, Drain Doctor, BFR, which is our card. And then I got East Coast Machine, which is Pete, VR Wraps, which is Matt Vassar, Moroso, New England Race Fuel, iRacing, Paradisco Insurance, Hoosier, Manly, and then the Root family. And then you guys. I mean, this is awesome. 2025. We're going after 5 wins. I want to win the championship. That's what our goal is. We want to be number 1.